Well, guys, I made it back home. I'm not in superbly good shape after the stress of the trip. I tire very easily, and I find that there are moments when I just want to sit and do absolutely nothing. But unfortunately, the living plants around me have reminded me that I can't do that all day long. I think some of the tiredness is partially depression. There's just no getting around it, as you know, it's a tough situation all around. And that's definitely something with my PTSD diagnosis I can't allow to take hold, because if I do, I'll waste away inside my bedroom doing nothing, wasting my life. So I have to get out, and I have to get things working again. And there is definitely plenty to do, like take care of poor, overgrown, beloved, drooping plants. This is the mandarin lemon balm, and it does smell delightful, but it needs some assistance. I need to get down and I need to cut down all the mustard and replant some stuff in there. I need to take care of the peas because the peas are completely overgrown. The grass is overgrown. I'm not sure what kind of shape I'm going to actually find the peas in, but I'm hoping that a lot of them actually did get fertilized and that I actually do have peas. And let's see, there's where the creeping mint is. I gotta weed all that. And of course there's the terrible horror show that is my concrete pad, which is completely weedy. That needs to be cleaned up. About the only thing that two things that really don't seem to require any help at all are the basket of spearmint and my cactus. The cinnamon just needs to kind of be left alone for a little while. Because we've had so much rain and so much humidity, the soil is still pretty wet, so I need to let that top layer dry out. It's still growing new leaves, so it's still happy. And let's see, my lovely little peppers need to be taken care of. And out front, the lavender, while it is still alive, is so teeny tiny that I'm afraid any rainstorm will wipe it out. Or the sunflowers that are growing, and I don't want to take those out, are going to smother it from getting any light at all. So I'll go out and rescue that and stick it in a pot. And this is my plan for, I don't know, the next few days, next week, the next while, as long as I can stay awake. In between bouts of calming gaming. I love Lotro, Lord of the Rings Online. I love Stardew Valley, and that is something else that I really kind of need to indulge in. Well, let's get to it. Well, here I am, finally back at home, and I'm gonna give you a tour of what is left. And just to be clear, my husband did an excellent job taking care of everything. There are things I told him not to bother taking care of, and there are things that really didn't, they were never gonna make it until I got home. But I do want to start with my ultimate success, the one thing he was terrified of killing, and he didn't. The cinnamon. Look at it. It looks amazing, doesn't it? Fantastic. The leaves are green and it's producing new. So the soil is a little moist, but that's okay. It's perfectly fine. This. I'm going to give a shout out to my neighbor here. She just dropped off these these homemade cookies, Jake and Shy. The these are some bakers. I swear, we've had some wonderful treats from Jake and Shy. The greenhouse is pretty much empty except for the cinnamon, which will stay in there. The heater's off. It's warm enough here. It's staying up above 50 degrees Fahrenheit every night now. Here are some of the things that were never going to make it. These were little vegetables. That was a Brussels sprout, and this was, well, this was the mandarin lemon balm. It still has like a little life to it, but I don't know. I don't even know if I want to bother trying to keep it alive. Here are the bulbs. Doing lovely. A little bit of spotting leaves here. A little bit of drying, but that's okay. Rosemary, of course, doesn't need any attention at all. The mustards are done. And they got plucked quite a bit while I was gone. These are the peppers. Peppers are actually doing fine. They're a little straggly, need some sunshine. They'll go down. Here, shockwave petunias. Beautiful, beautiful. A little dry. Just needs some water. Needs some sun. Here are the pomegranates. I was hoping they'd survive, and they kind of did, but they need a little love. Of course, more rosemary. Rosemary and thyme. Rosemary and thyme don't need babysitting. They really don't. A little bit of halfway watering, and they survive quite nicely. Mint. Minty mint. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Look at that. I'll be able to top this and use it for mint juleps. Yummy, yummy. Let us go down now to the wilds. Normally the concrete pad would be filled with plants, but unfortunately it's, you know, bare. Even in flower, giant Florida broadleaf mustard still grows these enormous leaves, absolutely gigantic leaves. And these two do need to be cut down. The bees have enjoyed the flowers, I'm sure, but I need to get other stuff into this ground. Wow. Just wow. Look at, and the butterflies are happy, if you're a butterfly. Kale, blue Scotch kale, chard. I have vegetables for like freaking months in here. Green chard and red chard, just all packed in here, just doing fine. A little bit going to flower here. I'll have to pull that one. I think there's milkweed back there. I think those little fluffy ones are milkweed. Obviously a nasturtium. Nasturtiums were never going to be far behind. They're great for covering stuff. Kelvedon peas. Wow. Kelvedons. My goodness. And you know, these are good. I can feel the peas inside, so they're gonna be amazing. And there are so many. They're just huge. I'm gonna have to start plucking these very quick. And of course, get rid of the bindweed. The bindweed is happily growing up in everywhere. Cut my strip here so that it's pretty. And oh my goodness, the grass is so wet. We've had so much rain. I need to cut this too. Unfortunately, the only thing I have to cut with is scissors, which is frustrating. Even the landscapers from next door didn't bother to cut all the way in, which was polite. Here are some more peas. These are the littler peas. And they produce prodigiously, and I can start clipping those, but they're also showing signs of being done. Cherry, which of course until next year I won't know if it's going to produce or not. It's just happily doing its thing in its pot. It needs a little food. It's getting a little yellow here and there. Besides the weed, blueberries. Look, I've got blueberries. They're so pretty. It does love its pot, and it looks pretty good. I probably need to move it to a sunnier area. But it looks happy. It looks happy. Remove the weed, of course. All the peas did really well. The Alaska peas, of course, pretty much, you know, getting pretty done. These ones here on the left I believe these are I'm gonna have to look at the tags again. Alaska peas are gonna have to be done. They usually finish up early. I'm gonna let all of these dry in the pod, and then just break them out and store them dry. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with these. These are definitely fresh peas, and there should have been a couple of I think the pots are down there somewhere. I think the pots are down there somewhere. So this is the back. Let's see how bad this bed had it. Oh, it's not bad. These patches of Corsican mint are bright and flourishing. They just need a little bit of weeding, and they'll be fine. The chives are actually coming out with blooms, which makes me happy. This poor thing is, look at all the water. So these chives are really unhappy. Really unhappy, but that's okay. This bed was meant for the Corsican mint anyway, and creeping and crawling stuff. As soon as it gets around the chives, it will look absolutely gorgeous. I will take care of that pot eventually. Let us see what happened to the front. For now, this is the back. The wild, untamed farmland. And the front. Oh, this could be scary. Well, besides the spider, which obviously, and of course we have stuff running through the stairs. Ooh, wow, the little fire. Oh my goodness, lots of grass. Little fire irises are doing very nicely indeed. I don't know if they're supposed to be here. Probably not the greatest idea. And of course, you know, stinkweed, bobweed. Bob is stinky. All right, let's see. Whew. Oh, lots and lots of sunflower babies left over from last year. And did it make it? Well, if we look very carefully, yes, it did. It is not big. It is not big, but it did make it. The lavender. It is tiny. And it's going to get crowded out by the sunflowers. I'm very reluctant to actually remove the sunflowers, though. There was something over here, and it definitely didn't make it. The nasturtiums all over the place. The parsley, I knew the parsley was going to go to seed, so that's going to have to go. Oh, look, my little black pansies. They made it, and they actually probably provided some interest. What I'm super happy about is the sage. Ah, look at these flowers. Look at these beautiful flowers. In time, the thyme flowers are good too. Black pansies. And I don't see any bachelor buttons. I see lots of weeds that need to be removed. This shrub is doing all right. It's doing okay. Probably needs some food and some weeding. And this was always just meant to be a blank space. It just needs weeds pulled off of the thing. Oh, look, a little bunch of alyssum came back. Hello, friend. Hello, friend. You're very pretty. I'll just top that. It'll come back. Lots of nettle weeds and everything else. Of course, nothing was done over here. So there's really this poor area is just a mass of nothing but weeds. Except for the tiny little succulents. I love the tiny little succulents, but I don't think I'll have any time for this side. And this is pretty much what I'm left with. Some sunflowers, nasturtium, thyme, sage. After the parsley gets removed, and then I don't know, I may transplant that lavender to give it the best shot that I can. And a whole bunch of weeds, and that's what I'm left with for now. I don't have, if I'm going to do any vegetables, I'm going to have to replant those. It's already June, so I would have to replant those in containers to be able to take inside after they've flowered. It's not heartbreaking, but, you know, in a world where my neighbor has an absolutely gorgeous front garden. Look at this. Look, he's got, oh, little marigolds all around the sunflowers. Oh, it's beautiful, beautiful. And he's got, I think those are a type of morning glory coming in. And his beautiful Japanese maple. In a world where my neighbor has a beautiful garden, mine looks kind of like a train wreck. Well, today I think I will take you around Coos Bay with me, where I'm going to go, and we'll see what Coos Bay looks like in June. Well, these lovely poppies right next to a building. Beautiful. The shady dew still on their seeds. And even in the waste spaces, you can find a little beauty. I walk by these roses quite frequently, and I absolutely adore them. Yeah, I know this building is just a private building, but wow, I sure do love the sense of style in it. Rounded with that sculpture on top of the building. Beautiful. I really love the neat layered look of some of these hillside plantings. Very formalized. Yeah, you can see a little bit of chaos up on the top. Very nice. Yes, Virginia, yucca-type plants will survive in Coos Bay and occasionally even thrive. Well, the Tioga, I believe, is our tallest building. And it has undergone an enormous amount of renovation to become a more upscale rental place for both residential and commercial uses. I love the classic nature of that sign hanging off the side of the building. Oregon wine cellars. Unfortunately. Oh, please come back. We're trying not to die anymore. I really do miss all the wine. Hopefully she comes back soon. I am definitely biased, but I happen to think our bay is absolutely and extraordinarily beautiful. Not just the boats, but the beautiful green hills. Lots of birds. Sometimes we see a sea lion chasing fish out here. Yep. I do appreciate the amount of green. These buildings are not always the best maintained, but this is a very imaginative way to visualize Coos Bay. Here's the ocean. Here's our little inlet here. What they actually call the bay is this section right here. You know, and we have down here is the South Slough, South Slough, and runs all the way up here to the inlet to what we are looking at right now. All quiet today. So this is quite a frequent sight. This is a tug, the Natoma. It's been here for a while. Tugs will be used to pull bigger boats where it's too dangerous for the bigger boats to actually go under their own power. And this is quite a big tug. They'll pull launches and big carryalls like the sawdust carryalls that tie up to get filled. Most of the tugs that I see out here are 70s, maybe one or two pre-70s tugs, so you can tell by the you know, there's a bit of rust, a few dings, a few dents, but still in pretty bloody good condition. We like seeing which one's going to be in port at any given time. Classic Coca-Cola sign here. I don't know why, I just like it. These railroad tracks are actually used quite frequently now, and these tracks all the way along are slowly being renovated. This is just one short stretch. This is a train museum here in Coos Bay. I love the trees out in front, and they do their best to keep it as tidy as possible, weeding and stuff like that. But obviously it can get very difficult, especially with trash blowing in on the 101. But it's always nice to walk by here. I think this one's new. This dozer. I don't think I've seen it before. Big old crane. Tell when there are visitors, because the kids get to ring the bell that's in here somewhere, so you can hear the clang clang clang. There it is, the bell on the front. You can hear the clang clang of the bell when there are visitors to the train museum. And boy, do I love old steam engines. Just fabulous. should be considered Oregon's state flower. They really are. Gorgeous addition to pretty much any area. Some of the colors on these are just spectacular. Makes a gas station seem like not such a bad place. But Linda, what's the grocery situation like? Well, our grocery situation is pretty good. We have Fred Meyer, which is pretty gigantic. And if this truck passes so that I can see. Over there we also have a Safeway right across from each other. My God, you'd never think they could exist side by side, but somehow they do. Safeway is a little bit more upmarket, but Fred Meyer, for some things, actually has a better selection of decently priced items. Poor little snail. So I have an issue with these peas here. My original thought was to harvest the snow peas as pinky tip little peas, but it didn't work out so well because I wasn't here. So now everything has got to go. So basically what I'm doing is combining the Alaska peas and the Lillian peas into one batch of dried peas, and then salvaging what I can from the snow peas to freeze or eat fresh in the next few days. Now these peas didn't turn out too bad. These are the Alaska peas, which I really wish I had been able to leave out on the vine to dry. Unfortunately, our weather is just so humid and so rainy that we're getting this. These tiny little inconsistent batches of peas. And a lot of them are just too small to even use, even to eat or freeze. They just dry up into nothing. A lot of these wound up just like this. Produced nothing except maybe one tiny little thing like that. Very disappointing. I think part of it may be because I wasn't here to feed them. The potting soil probably just ran out of nutrients to give the plant by the time it got to that part of the plant, by the time it got to flowering, and all the plants that had flowered before it had taken all the nutrients that were available. All the rest of these are here. Now, all the rest of these that are still green, these are all snow peas. All the snow peas will go in there. Unfortunately, a lot of them are big and fat. Not really appropriate for you know, munching down on. So everything that's gotten fat like this will go into the shelling pile. Everything that's like this, appropriately tiny, will go into that bowl. Hopefully I can make something out of it. snow peas are really, once they get old, snow peas are really, really difficult to get off here without using scissors. Right, well, here it is. I finally got it all done. And these two little buckets are, this potting soil is ready to be spread out. I'll give it a little time to dry if the weather cooperates, maybe. If the weather cooperates and it stays dry, this potting soil will get dried out on the concrete pad. This isn't too bad of a haul, although last year I got 3 times the amount of shelling peas off the Alaskas. But don't forget that I still do have I have the Kelvedons over there as well, just itching to be plucked, and it is beautiful and green. I can leave that for quite a while. But these definitely need to be recycled. Once I've gotten the roots out of this is still decent. Decent potting soil. Dry it up, put it in the bottom with a little more food, and on top can go some fresh potting soil. And I will attempt to get something else into here in the next 24 hours, hopefully. And here is the concrete pad. I managed to do the weeding, and don't the patches of Corsican mint just look glorious? They are so happy. And what is even more surprising is, check it out, it's growing in the cracks here. Plenty of little what I think are seeds, actually. And the mint smell is amazing. You know, I spend most of my time pulling the weeds out of these cracks, but I tell you, this stuff spreads, I'm just gonna let it. Nice neat pile of weeds that I really don't think I can compost. They're just too invasive. Everything is pretty much cleaned. I did get it swept. I got it washed. And over here there's plenty of room for other stuff. Hi, Time. I know you need a trim. Hello, Nasturtium. You're gonna go nuts. Chard is still well on, and unhappily I'm going to have to get rid of this Nasturtium if I want to keep the chard, because the chard and the blue Scotch kale need a little bit of light, need a little bit of space. This is not a tomato, it's a weed. I need to get rid of that too. Kelvedon peas still going happy, even with the stupid morning glories attacking it. Look at these Kelvedon, and I see why they're called Kelvedon Wonder Peas. They're magnificent. They're fat. They are really huge. Really huge. Of course, you know, they do have access to the ground. I'm pretty sure that the cardboard I put down has not deterred the roots from reaching the soil thus far, and the soil underneath was already pretty good. So, I am heartened for today because I got a generous amount done. I still have not gotten the lavender transplanted. That's when I need one of those little pots over here with some clean potting soil in it. And I've got a couple of bags of potting soil from the store. I'll do that, and then we shall see.